Here. It's going, huh? Everything's up?
What up, everyone?
Ta-da. Okay.
We are live. I don't feel like I'm exactly even here.
Oh, you're not at the right spot.
Yeah. No, we're all jacked up today.
Yeah.
Chris,
the son of a bitch.
jerk.
Yeah. Whore.
Yeah, he knows he's a whore.
He's a man whore.
He knows it.
Yeah.
He'll tell me. He'll tell that himself.
More that way.
Which way?
That way.
Wait.
Towards AJ. There you go. Perfect. Kind of.
Yeah. All right. Good enough.
Good enough. All right. Pulling up the live chat. Boom. Here we are.
Well, without Chris being here, this should be a short episode.
Yeah. Chris isn't here today, so
Jerk.
yeah. I would say the cat's away, the mice will play, but I don't know. I think he's more mice than cat.
Yeah, he's probably getting arrested right now as we speak. I imagine.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess back to the original duo here.
Yeah. Dynamic duo, right?
Well, it's already after 8. Should we go ahead and make this official?
Yeah, sure. Do your thing.
Well then, live from La Cocina Studios, it's the 222nd edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
This is Travis.
And thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. We very much appreciate it. As we mentioned before, Chris is bye-bye. He is in California way. What the hell is he doing in California? What's he
trying
doing?
to get in trouble. He's got no agenda. He's just out there just
clearing his head,
as
he says.
Yeah, or whatever he does. I don't know.
Okay. Well.
But before he left, we were able to record a new episode of Dark Match for you lovely fans that we have. We went out to Austin over the weekend. We went to Russell Circus, and we talked about it.
Yeah, you and Chris did.
Right.
I didn't go. Wait. Hold on. This weekend.
Right.
You guys drove out to Russell Circus in Austin.
Right.
Then you came back.
Right.
And then he turned right around and left for California.
Right.
The fuck, dude?
Well, he didn't. He flew.
Well, he flew. Yes. Still, I mean, damn, like one vacation in a week isn't enough for this guy.
Well, to each his own, I guess.
I guess so. All right. Well,
he's just trying to get in as much situations as possible.
Is he sowing his seed? Is that what it is?
I'd rather not talk about his seed.
Oof. So anyway, yeah, Chris isn't here. If you are joining us live on the live chat, I have you pulled up here on my smartphone. So if you want to chat with us, call us out on our bullshit, ask us questions, any of that kind of thing, please do so. I have you pulled up, and I will involve you in the show as best as our abilities here and answer your questions or whatever else you got going for us. So thank you for that. If you're not watching us live, you should try one day. That'd be cool. Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. But if you're not, you're watching on delay, that's cool too. You go on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio, and you can interact with us there, or on Twitter @H Wrestling Radio. So,
did you get all that?
I hope so.
All right.
I hope they did.
Yeah.
I hope they did. Here, I'm going to go ahead and make the link live here for Twitter.
You haven't done that yet?
Well, I did it for Facebook. I'm doing it for Twitter now. So we are live.
Well, while we're doing that, we're getting all set up here. You know what? We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Normally, we're a week behind when it comes to NXT.
Yes.
But we had some extra time on our hands. We just finished watching this week's NXT. So we're just going to rapid fire this for a few minutes. If you haven't watched today's episode of NXT, spoiler alert, put some earmuffs on for the next few minutes, take them back off. But going back 2 weeks, or this last week's episode, the past week, we had the first ever title defense for Tyler Bate, the UK champion. And he went up against his, I guess, the tag team partner or whatever for Mustache Mountain. Trent Seven. That was a damn good match. I wouldn't say it was like 5-star or match of the week or anything like that, but it was a damn good match.
I'd say a match of the week. Match of the week candidate.
The one from last week?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't watch that one, did you?
We just watched
No,
it.
not that one. That's the one from before that.
Oh, okay. Well, who was the one that we watched right now?
This week, it continued the UK they're calling it special attractions. So
which I have a bone to pick with that. But
yeah, they have no home, I guess. So they're thrown on NXT.
Well, that's my bone to pick. They have no home. They're just showing up on NXT.
Yeah.
Then for the continuity's sake, why not just say, hey, we found some guys and they're now NXT talent? Well, no, they're still referring to them as, oh, those British guys.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna have the UK division, is it on Raw? Is it on SmackDown? Is it on NXT? Oh no, it's only in the UK, but they're showing up here on NXT 2 weeks in a row now. 1 week, I kind of understand. Okay, special attraction, but 2 weeks in a row now, and that now you're starting to build up storyline. Because when it comes to NXT, when it comes to NXT, they haven't been the greatest at getting the ball rolling with story in this. You have something 2 weeks in a row on NXT. Holy shit, you have a feud. So I mean, granted, it's not the same guys wrestling, but it's the same division, and they're changing up the LED board, and they keep showing up. Nigel and
they keep showing up on NXT consistent like this. People are gonna start thinking they're part of NXT.
Yeah.
I was listening to a recent episode of the Taz Show, and if you don't listen to that, that's a pretty damn good show. As far as this professional wrestlers that have podcasts now. Well, if I say podcast, you'll probably kick my ass. It's not a podcast. It's video on demand. It's a radio show. It's live video audio. Whatever.
We have a YouTube show. We're not a podcast. We're not Houston Wrestling Radio. Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, same thing. But anyway, he actually had a good point about that. He was saying he's got a big bone to pick with the UK being on there for two reasons. One, it's a UK title, and the first title defense is in Florida.
Yeah.
I know that the rumors going forward are going to be they're going to have their own show produced in the UK and whatever, that's where they're going to be. But in the meantime, if they don't have any place to put these guys, why not? Because they're already from other divisions, other feds over in the UK. Why not just have them go there, defend the title, and have their own film crew there, little camera, throw the footage on NXT and show, hey, this is what's been going on.
Yeah.
Instead of having them on in the show.
It doesn't even have to be on NXT. They have their own goddamn network.
Right. Yeah.
They could just throw up, even if it's 15 minutes, man. Don't swim that shit. Just have it like, the episode of what's happening, in the week around the world today, and then like have like 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't even have to be a whole hour or half-hour show like they feel like they're obligated to. You know?
No, I agree. But that was one of the points of contention that he had with that.
I mean, maybe logistically speaking, sending a film crew over to a random indie arena just so that you could record one match, maybe that'd be problematic logistically. But I don't know, man. You got to do something here.
Or if they're working out a deal with those other feds, like Progress and those other feds over there.
Yeah.
But where they film it. And they just use the footage over there. Because if you're a fed over there, and if WWE says, "Hey, can we use your footage?" This and that, you're gonna say yes. You want that exposure on WWE television.
Yeah, but they also may not want to fuck with certain people over there because maybe some of the indie-ness of it is too indie. I mean, that's the problem with dealing with indies. I mean, you want to take the good, but sometimes you also have to see the good with the bad.
Yeah. But you can tell it's still a work in progress. I think for the UK. But anyway, but that was one thing. That was last week's episode. This week's episode, for you the fans, if you haven't watched it yet, again, spoilers. But we had basically a rematch from the UK tournament. It was Pete Dunne. He was making his
NXT debut.
Yeah, the Bruiserweight. Yeah, he was making his debut over here, going against Mark Andrews. You may know him as Mandrews from TNA. But they had a damn good match on the UK tourney. That was our match of the night, really, for that tournament. And then also on this week's episode, they had another damn good match. Is there anything that stood out for you on this match?
When he tried to do his finisher, what do they call it?
Are you talking about
Bruiserweight?
Pete Dunne?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of his finisher. They kept trying to call it because he kept getting it countered.
Yeah.
A gut wrench kind of thing where you flip them up and then slam them down. Man, I thought once I finally saw it, I was like, oh wow, that's a cool move. But the 3 or 4 times that I got countered, it just built my anticipation to see this movie even more, which is good.
Yeah.
And I like the way it was countered before. And I blame myself because I haven't gone back and watched the UK tournament. So I blame myself for not being familiar with the move itself. But just in that microcosm of, I'm sure there's other people out there who only watched NXT, haven't watched the UK tournament. In that microcosm of watching just one match, I could tell that this is probably like the 3rd match that these guys have had together, at least in the series or whatever. And they just kept countering. I'm like, can I see the base move first before I could see the counter? But that's kind of a really weird thing to like pick at. So I'm not actually going to pick that. But I liked it. I want to say that I liked it. I liked the counters and I liked all that good stuff.
Okay, so this is a unique perspective since you haven't watched anything from the UK tournament or anything. You didn't see last week's match either for that.
Correct.
But since this was your first time pretty much watching the UK match, did that make you want to go back and watch anything from the UK tournament?
Well, I've been wanting to go back and watch the UK tournament, but this might be, the thing that's really got me like, shit, I really do need to watch this because that match was good, really good. Match of the weekend for me, even though usually we count current NXTs towards the next week because we're usually behind. So, but it's quite possibly one of the
we'll
best
work the
matches
kinks
I've
out of
seen.
that with Chris if he wants to nominate this or anything. But it's not going to be like a big blown out match of the year or anything like that. So, but that was that match. I think the only other thing. It was in this week's episode we had Bobby Roode versus No Way Jose, and which was I guess who's going to win that match, right? But okay, so after the match, we have. I keep wanting to say the debut, but it's actually the return of Cassius Ohno.
I'm kind of at that point where I don't care.
Yeah.
I remember the whole tongue-in-cheek, the reason why we're giving Chris Hero this stupid-ass name is because, it's the best way to come up with KO.
Right.
And since they know that they've kind of messed that up already since they gave that to Kevin Owens, now they're going to have him be like, oh, no, it's oh, no. And like, coming from a guy who loves puns, I'm a very punny guy. Dude, I can't stand it. I hate it already because it feels too shoehorned. It feels to me the same way how Kurt Angle going in TNA, it wasn't it's true anymore. Oh, it's real. It's like, and sure, we've had a decade to get used to it. So even now, if I say it's real, it kind of makes sense. But like before it was a decade, like, God, it just sounds so fucking second rate, you know? Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about his
It doesn't because it doesn't sound like a real name.
Yeah.
Since he left in
Byron said it himself. If that's your real name, it's not. It's
which and they got a chuckle out of the crowd too.
Yeah,
but that was he Chris Hero Cassius Ohno when he was originally in NXT, which by the way he got fired because he didn't want to put on weight.
He didn't want to lose weight.
Oh, he didn't want to lose weight. That's right.
He didn't want to lose weight.
He didn't want to lose weight, and now look at him.
Yeah,
and he got So, but anyway, he when he was there originally, WWE was before the transition point of where they're at now, where they didn't have all these well-known indie darlings that are in there now, where they can actually use their real names. And he was kind of stuck in the midterm interim of that, where we can't use their real names. We got to use.
Yeah, he was still part of that.
Let's change up everything and
where that glass ceiling yet hadn't been broken.
Right.
And now that he is back, when you had the opportunity to break it now, it's like, let's go back to his old name because, I don't know. It's just a cluster. And I don't give a shit.
And the stupid thing is he was in NXT that predates it airing on the network. So even if you want to go back and watch the very first episode of NXT that's on the network, he's long gone by then.
Yeah.
So long, like even if you're been a subscriber since day one for NXT, he's never been on TV.
Yeah.
he left like 2 years before all that, or a year before that, or whatever it was. But he wasn't there on. You can't find him anywhere on the network. So why not?
return, but come on, not really.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess it is technically, but
Technically it is. But
this would have been the instance where I would have been okay with WWE kind of like saying, hey, forget this ever happened.
Wipe it off.
You know, because they do that a lot, and it always makes us mad. But like in this instance, if they went and said, hey, this didn't happen, these aren't the droids you're looking for, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah. Or even do like what they did with when Kenta came in, or who else was it? When they came in, their old name popped up on screen, and then it faded into
it was name. Kenta and Asuka. They both had that. Yeah.
I thought it
was there somebody else that did that?
Prince Devitt.
Yeah,
and it morphed into Finn Balor.
Balor.
Yeah,
Finn Balor.
Which I guess if we're saying
that's how Balor likes to pose.
Yeah. Which I guess if we're now I'm thinking about it, if we're knocking Cassius Ohno's name because he couldn't use Chris Hero and Finn Balor and Prince Devitt and Asuka and Kenta and shit. Oh well, whatever.
All right. Apparently Chris is here with us in spirit because he logged in to the live chat and has been replying, going back and forth to Hector, and they're having a completely different tangent of conversation here relating back to the UK stuff. So if you would indulge us for a moment here. Let me see how far back I actually have to go here. Okay, well, it started off by Hector asking, I guess WWE took too many steps before thinking of what to do with that division, referring to the UK division.
Right.
And then Chris asked him, do you think the UK division is ready for their own show already? And then he says, yeah, because the last thing you want to do is have people forget about the participants. Then Chris replies, it's easier for the Cruiserweight division to have 205 because that division is established even back in WCW. The UK brand is a brand new spanking title and division, and that's going to take some time. So, yeah, that all makes sense. And it looks like he also chimed in with the Hero stuff. He caught up. Hero was too small to be big and too big to be small. And as far as name value is, at least, so, yeah, I guess he's kind of agreeing with us there.
Getting back to NXT itself, Ono premiere. I do like the very end of it where Brood was he was like leaving, and Ono came in and he made the save for No Way Jose. But as Brood was leaving, he got on the stick and then he challenged him. He got on, let's do it. Let's fight. Why wait? Let's fight right now. And then he took a cheap shot and beat him down. But then it turned back around. But still, the fact that the heel champion didn't just take his title and run.
Which, as much as I don't like Bobby Roode, I still have to say that I'm glad that WWE as a machine is playing around with that. Like, that's something I keep begging for, to make a heel not be the cowardly heel.
Yeah.
Make a heel be an aggressor or something to just get away from that. Every heel's a coward heel.
Right.
And we see glimpses of it here and there. And every time I see one of those glimpses, I bring it up and point it out on this show and try to give kudos to WWE.
Because, they listen and they want it, and we got to give them our feedback.
If they happen to listen, if it's one time that they listen, it's that thing that I want them to hear. But, good job on them.
Yes.
I mean, it's still Bobby Roode, and I still don't like him. But
all right, so one last thing about the last 2 weeks of NXT, the women's division in NXT. Last week there was a tag team match. It was the Australian BFFs, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay versus Liv Morgan in a mystery partner, which turned out to be Ember Moon. Which I thought with that, Ember Moon would kind of clean house and get the pin and be done with it. But no, they actually lost. And then what makes it even more confusing, they announced, and this opened up the show this week, is there was a triple threat match for the number one contender to fight Asuka.
Right.
And the participants was Ember Moon.
Okay, makes sense.
Peyton Royce.
What? Okay.
Yeah. And
Billie Kay.
No.
Wait, no?
No.
Just Peyton Royce?
Uh-huh.
And who else?
Liv Morgan.
Wait, she's the one who lost.
Right, yeah.
But Billie Kay didn't lose.
No, she wasn't even in the match.
Why not have Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in there?
You know what? I don't know.
Why put Liv in there? She lost.
Yeah, I don't understand this. This makes no sense.
Why?
I don't know. And then who ended up winning this match? Spoiler alerts.
More spoiler alert. Not Liv Morgan.
No.
She got pinned.
Yeah, she was the loser.
Like she got pinned the last week.
Right. Yeah.
Right. She lost.
Right.
To the Aussie chick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This time Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
Not Billie Kay, because Billie Kay wasn't in the match.
No.
Right. So Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
So Peyton Royce versus Asuka is what's going to happen coming up.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. That's NXT, pretty much in a nutshell for these last 2 weeks here. You want to go and move on to the next topic? Got Raw or SmackDown? What do you want to do next?
Sure.
Raw?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let me check. See if anybody's asked anything here before you. Hector says, with the video of Hero returning from a couple of weeks ago, does WWE have to delete that video? What? Why would they delete the video?
They put it out in the first place.
Yeah.
No.
They ain't gonna delete that.
Come on, Hector, you're better than that. All right. So, moving on to, let's go to Raw. All right.
Monday night.
You asked me a question before we recorded tonight.
All right.
You said, was Raw actually better than SmackDown this week?
Yeah, that's a question I posed to you because I felt like this week maybe Raw was a little bit better than SmackDown.
I will say Raw was a strong episode.
It was a strong episode.
Now, devil's advocate over here. I had full 3 hours of DVR juice.
Ooh. So that means you watched 30 minutes worth of Raw.
Needless to say, it did not take 3 hours to watch Raw on Monday.
You son of a bitch.
Don't be hating. All right. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about on Raw was the opening segment on Raw, which was a spotlight Kevin Owens in the ring, sitting in a chair, cutting a promo.
Sitting in a chair backwards.
Yeah, we'll get
it was an after-school special, and he was about to tell you about not to take drugs, kids. Let me rap with you, brother. Yeah, and that's
well, he's not the only one sitting in a chair backwards, but we'll get that later.
Yes.
But man, I loved the fact that this was more of a back to business heel promo from Kevin Owens, because it's no secret. You ask anybody, I'm pretty sure the last 3 or 4 months of Kevin Owens was not a highlight moment for him.
It's been a highlight for Jericho.
Yes. Yeah.
But not for KO. KO's been overshadowed. It feels a lot like Punk's title reign when he was the longest reigning, champion forever and a day, but he wasn't the main event. Right. Whatever was going on with the other title was always the main event. Right. That's kind of how I feel here. It's like Owens is the champ. Owens is the guy with the title. He's the one going out there winning the matches. Yeah, sure, he's a heel, but the storyline's all about Jericho, right, you know? So,
but I love the fact that he was down to business. He started the promo acting like, or he made you think that he was going to start opening up, talking about what he did to Jericho the week before. And it wasn't. He actually was talking about Goldberg in the match, the gear up. Then he had a long, really awesome. I mean, I thought he was hitting on all points on what he's going to do to prepare for the match at Fastlane against him and Goldberg. And it worked flawlessly. And then at the very end, when he was done with that, I was like, oh, good. He's not even going to mention Jericho. Awesome. He's just going to move past that. And then he says, and as for Jericho, I was like, oh, shit. But then he just dropped the mic and walked away. Oh, dude.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And, going into this week episode of Raw and subsequent weeks, my I guess you could say prediction of what I think is actually going to happen has been the odds of Kevin Owens winning are astronomical. He is not winning. He's not beating Goldberg. Yeah, it's probably 20-1, or I mean probably way more than that. Mm-hmm. He's not going to win it. After the promo, the needle moved a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
he's not going to 100 RPMs yet, but it's like, oh, okay, now I buy it. Instead of him having a 2% chance of winning, now I think he has maybe a 5% chance of winning. It's still, only 5% chance of winning, but like that promo moved the needle for me. One promo. That's all it takes.
Well, I think right now we're seeing Raw and SmackDown to another extent. We're seeing them as a big chessboard, and I'm starting to see small pieces, the pawns moving up. I'm starting to see little pieces being moved here and there, and I'm thinking maybe by the time Fastlane comes around and that title match happens, I think we're gonna have a fully formed New Authority stable,
possibly.
With Joe, Owens, Triple H, maybe someone else. I don't know, but the Club, because they've been all of them have been commingling lately.
Yeah, there's been a lot of just wild speculation about that. I've seen several different iterations of that. Finn comes back, and Finn and the club have, a stable that's going up against Joe and Kevin and Triple H as the new authority or whatever. And then I've seen where they're all together in one thing, and or maybe it's just Joe and KO and they're just a tag team and they're the enforcers for Triple H. Or, oh, you know what, have them two and Triple H, and you know what, fuck it, throw Neville in there. Like all kinds of crazy fucking scenarios that, you know what, I'd be okay with a lot of these scenarios.
But the thing is, if that's the case, then yeah, his chances of winning are drastically moving in his favor. And then that would just set up, again, him retaining the title. And so on WrestleMania, it would be him versus Jericho for the title.
So, well, that would bring me to the promo later on in that night with Brock and Heyman. Hearing Heyman say that he can buy Kevin Owens beating Goldberg, him also saying that he thinks Goldberg is going to beat him, but then him saying it doesn't matter. Just the fact that he did say that, where it's like he probably could, but he probably won't, and it doesn't matter. Like, but the fact that he said he probably could, that made the needle move a little bit. So instead of 5% chance, oh yes, it's a 5.5% chance. You know, so that episode of Raw has really kind of helped my optimism, my little shred of
anticipation.
Hope. A little bit. Optimism and anticipation has moved a little bit because of it.
You know,
just a little bit.
For the interview with Heyman and Lesnar, I'm glad you said that because honestly, I don't know what Heyman was saying. I was too busy laughing my ass off when Lesnar gets up. Chris was there too. You know, you were laughing your ass off too. He moves. He basically just intimidates Cole, and he runs away. He takes his chair, sits right in front, and sits down in front of the camera.
Backwards, like an after-school special. He's about to talk to you about drugs.
And he just...
Travis, he's going to kill you. Travis is an asshole, and he don't take any shit from anybody because he's great, and he's the best, and his ginger ass will spice up your meat. And what? I don't know. I ran out of stuff.
But yeah,
that was the gag for people watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're on podcast,
I'm sorry.
Even
for video, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, that was, dude.
Yeah, a bunch of the replay here, and it looks like you were trying to do your best Blue Steel impersonation there for a second.
Yeah, sure.
You were being intimidating. You were trying to seduce our listeners. Oh, ooh.
Did it work?
Ooh. Did it move the needle?
Down.
All
right. All right. What else happened on Raw? What do you want to talk about? You know what? There's a big segment dedicated to Bayley.
Yes.
And what happened last week with her winning the title. Apparently, Charlotte wanted her to relinquish the belt,
right,
as a heel champion should do. But Bayley came out. Honestly, I fast forward through most of what she was saying.
Okay, I didn't fast forward through it.
Okay. Is there anything? We haven't already heard.
Here's how it went down. Stephanie came out and said, "Do you really want your
listen to all that, but just Bayley's little monologue."
Okay, with Bayley, dude. By the way, I heard you said no, it did not work. Your little seducing thing.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. Okay. With Bayley, I would think that in her mind as a character, the stuff Stephanie was saying would have made sense to her about honor and getting her title without it being tainted or in controversy and this and that. Bayley being a super duper face, more facey than the faciest of John Cena had been, like being,
she's the walking embodiment of a face.
Yes, she's a walking embodiment. Like she is more than what Hogan was. Say your prayers and take your vitamins and all that. Like, and I'm not saying that that's what she says and all that, but like she's so fucking so fucking face that I could see how her as a character would be like, you're right. You're right. I can't keep this title. I have to earn it. without controversy, even if it was controversy on both ends of the ring. Okay, boom, here you go, boss. Here's the title back. Right. When she came out and she said, "Oh hell no," first off, I don't think Bayley of all characters should be cussing. And I know hell is far from like a really bad cuss word. I mean, we say shit and fuck and cunt all the time here on this show. But for who she is, for her character, it's out of character. And for her to kind of buck the authority, that seems to be kind of out of character. If anybody was going to make it to where she wasn't going to relinquish the title, it should have been Sasha saying, "No, Bayley, you're not going to do this. I'm not going to let you do this." And then have that distraction happen there where Steph and Sasha are having it out like, "Okay, Bayley, you can keep it for now, but I'm going to take it out on your buddy," or something like that. When even though everybody in the arena, and even though myself wanted Bayley to keep the title, her own character-wise, her own method acting that she should have been using, so to speak, should have been, "No, you're right. I can't keep this title. Here, have it back." Yeah. So it didn't make sense for me as who she is as a character to just give it back or to keep.
No, yeah, you're right, because the whole segment sucked. We're watching this and Bayley was out. Sasha comes out and I think it was Chris that asked this question that she's not turning if Sasha's not turning heel against Bayley, why the hell is she out there? Like I didn't understand.
Good point.
Why was she out there? Like why? She didn't do nothing.
I could see Bayley going out for Sasha, but Sasha going out for Bayley, especially after they've been teasing on this about her being pissed off, and I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like
I get Bayley's a 14-year-old, but why is Sasha now a 14-year-old? Like why is she her BFF?
No. If Bayley's a 14-year-old, Sasha's a 17-year-old big sister who don't put up with no shit. Who sticks up for her.
I don't know. It just whenever Bayley, I think it was Bayley said something along the lines of I earned it or I did it myself or whatever. I was expecting Sasha to get on the stage. Whoa! You didn't win this. Like I won. I was totally waiting. I was expecting that, and it didn't. And we're like, why is she not turning?
And the other point that wasn't involved in that whole kerfuffle was somebody, if it was either Bayley or Sasha, should have made the counterpoint of, well, she didn't come out on her own just for her own reasons. Yeah. Dana first came out. I wish that point was made somewhere. I'm sorry. But I wish that point was made somewhere in there. Like, the only reason why, like, Sasha should have said it, where she said, the only reason why I came out is because Dana came out first. Yeah. That should have evened the odds right there. You know what? Bayley, you actually won. Like, that's when Bayley was going to hand over the title, and Sasha should have been like, no, Bayley, you actually won. Remember, you hit her with the belly to Bayley to win that title. Yeah. I only, neutralized Dana, which was already cheating. That would have been logic right there, but it wasn't said. Right. It wasn't said.
Yeah.
So
screw the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of the whole women's division on Raw, honestly, to be honest. They need to do something. Oh, and are we gonna have to, I guess we're gonna have to wait another 6 months for Emma to come back.
I guess.
Yeah.
Do you care?
I'm just curious if she's going back to I'm assuming she's going back to the gimmick that she had before. I'm hoping she is.
Are you that curious? Like, no. Do you care that much?
No.
Because at this point, I kind of feel like with Emma, we've gone without her for so long that if she never comes back again, who cares?
But it's in this case, it would be fresh blood on the women's division. I guess. I'm tired of seeing the same 4 people still in the same thing. Okay, so what else we got on Raw?
Okay, hold on. I want to bring up this point that Chris is making on the live chat. He may as well have not even gone to California.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking bastard. Okay, well, this is what he says. The biggest flaw, Bayley promised Sasha that she would get the first shot. That's a valid reason for Sasha to be out there and slow build a possible heel turn for Sasha. And there was no mention of that. So why was she out there?
Yeah, this whole thing was just a big turd.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, next thing from Raw.
All right, what else we got here? Chris, why don't you just call in so you can just do all this shit? All right.
Don't tell him that. He will call.
Samoa Joe. He was supposed to fight Sami Zayn because the setup from last week.
Right.
Sami Zayn came out, and then what happened?
Samoa Joe beat his ass again.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm sure Chris liked it too because Samoa Joe beating somebody's ass.
You say Samoa Joe, and he's already okay.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe destroying Sami Zayn. We're just keep building up on who Samoa Joe is right now.
Samoa Joe's voice was cracking a little when he was say my name again, or what did he say? My name.
That means he means it.
Yeah, he meant it.
There was something. There's some news that broke on TMZ, and they talked about it on Raw. New Day, they are going to be the designated. We don't have anything for you, wrestlers.
We ain't got nothing better to do with you.
So New Day is going to host WrestleMania, which you know what? Sure. Why not?
Why not?
They're charismatic enough to do that. If they don't have anything, screw it. Why not? It's better. I don't know if that's better than bringing in like celebrities and shit like that to do that.
It sucks that they don't have anything better for them to do, but at the same point, if you don't have anything better for them to do, I don't mind seeing what they're going to do as the hosts, and maybe it'll be entertaining, and maybe that also means that we get them more than one time.
Oh yeah, they'll be throughout the show.
Yeah,
all 6 hours of it.
I wonder what shenanigans that they're going to get themselves into.
Maybe we'll finally get the ice cream.
Maybe we'll finally get ice cream.
If people stop stealing the blueprints. I love that segment. I don't know, something about it. The whenever they have this corny ass gimmick or whatever's going on, and the heel will counter what they're doing.
Yeah,
the way they seriously sell what's going on. Like, was it last week when I can't remember who was there, but they tore the folder that had the blueprints for.
Right, it was Bo.
Yeah, Bo. He tore the folder, and like you would think that, they just shot their dog or something. The way the Xavier was reacting to that. Same thing with Lana. For somehow she got an iPad. Yeah, and then she was able to get the blueprint somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going. This is corny ass shit, but you know what? It's working right now.
It means that we might actually get some ice cream.
Bars behind that, I'm okay. Let's bring back.
Now see, okay, I understand how WWE got away with making the Bootios.
Right.
Because it's dry goods.
Right.
And it's not at the grocery store. You can't go down to Kroger's or Randall's or Walmart to buy them. They have it with FYE.
Right.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Last time you've been to an FYE, do they not have a refrigerated section?
I think
a frozen refrigerated section?
I think the last time I was in FYE was probably around July of 1997. I don't know. So it's been a few months.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a century.
So the last time I've been to an FYE, I do not recall them having a frozen refrigeration section.
I do not. I was too busy buying VHS tapes.
Where in the blue fuck are they actually going to distribute said ice cream? Unless they got some sort of bigger deal with some other major chain,
maybe
we're not actually going to be able to go and drive anywhere and pick up ice cream.
And here's the thing with that.
And you can't have ice cream mailed with T-shirts.
Right. No, I got you. Okay. But here's the thing. You say Bootios, and 6 months later, you have Bootio cereal that you can buy and eat if you want to. They start mentioning ice cream. The fans are gonna start saying, "Oh, you got Bootio cereal, so surely
you got Bootio's ice cream.
If you're mentioning ice cream, we're gonna get some ice cream, right?" Are they painting themselves in a corner with that? I don't know.
Well, they've painted themselves into this corner before with Punk and the ice cream bars, and they've somehow were able to hop, skip, and cross the way out of the room while being painted into the corner.
Yeah, good thing
get away
quit.
with it. Punk quit, and but
if
they made
Punk
the T-shirts,
if Punk couldn't get the ice cream bars made, I don't think New Day's. I don't know. It was. I mean, there's petitions signed and everything for those damn things when Punk was around. So, I don't know.
Speaking of Punk,
yes. Oh, look at you. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay.
I gotta do my Finn Balor grin.
Don't do that. After we were watching Raw, and Chris was like, "Oh shit, I just got spoiled on something," and the show was over, and he's like, "Oh, nothing ever happened." Well, what we found out what happened was after Raw went off the air, since they are in Staples Center in Los Angeles, everything happens. It's in California.
Yeah.
The Rock comes out. He's doing now. Maybe a few weeks ago, he went on Instagram. Rock did, and he says that he just watched this documentary about Paige's family.
Okay,
there's a UK documentary out. This documented because their whole family's in wrestling, fighting with their family or something like that. Something like that. Anyway,
I don't remember.
Anyway,
yeah,
so
it was something like that.
He says like he loved that documentary so much he wanted to make a movie about it. Okay, he's got his own production company. He can do that kind of stuff because he's the fucking Rock. So
it's all about the money.
Yeah, or being Samoan. I don't know. Okay, so he made that announcement. So a few weeks passed. We're in Los Angeles. Rock comes out. He tells the crowd that in the audience that, hey, we're going to film a scene for this movie. And the scene is when Paige debuted on Raw and AJ, and they had a little exchange. And so when he said that, the crowd started chanting CM Punk because that is what crowds are wont to do whenever you mention anything related to anything remotely close to CM Punk. So when they started chanting CM Punk, he took it upon himself to actually get on his phone and actually call CM Punk.
Right.
CM Punk got on his phone and said, Rock, ignore. And he so he went to voicemail. So he left a couple of voicemails and he was telling the chant, he's telling the crowd and they're chanting and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's what everybody was seeing on YouTube and things like that. And the videos went viral pretty fast about what's going on with this. And then we see AJ Lee come out to the ring.
Right. Not AJ Lee.
We see Paige,
Paige.
come out to the ring. Okay. I don't know how many people were confused. I saw a lot of people asking what the hell's going on with this because they don't know. Maybe if you weren't caught up in the news, whatever. It's just everybody knew that was going on. So I see these pictures floating around of AJ Lee, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna go to the trouble of being in an authentic WWE ring, in authentic crowds, but yet you have someone. A typical Hollywood recast, not even the same ethnicity. Yeah, thank you. Of AJ Lee. The ring gear was totally wrong. She was wearing like a boxer's robe, when they come out, like a little fighter's robe.
Yeah.
I don't understand what was going on with that. So they had that, and then they also had an actress playing Paige, but they also had a stunt double for the in-ring action for Paige, which happened to be
Tessa Blanchard.
Yes. And nice. I now know why that she was pulled from the 4 women's elimination title match at Wrestle Circus over the weekend.
Oh.
Thank you. Anyway, so that was what was going on. Yeah, that was what was going on After Raw. And that's, if you're on anywhere on social media on Monday night, Tuesday, you would have saw all these pictures and videos floating around.
All right. What you just recapped is pretty much the official story out there, which I'm sure most of our listeners already know that official story.
I assume they don't.
Well, now they know.
You're welcome.
What's your take on all this? I mean, this isn't a WWE Films. This is The Rock's own money, and I guess WWE is letting them play along,
because it's The Rock. I guess
is that the only reason why? Just because it's The Rock?
I don't have a problem with him going out and making this movie about this documentary about Paige. My question is this weird, awkward timing. It just feels very awkward because of where's Paige? Say if you weren't a smart or whatever, and you weren't on the internet and you weren't going on the headlines and seeing everything's going on. Where's Paige been at? And even then, say so she's suspended or whatever the case would be, or she's injured or whatever the case. Could she not even come out just to do her own lines? I don't know. It just seems weird that they're making a dramatization of something that happened 2 years ago. I don't know. This is weird. This is weird and awkward. That's all. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we need to watch the movie whenever it comes out before we say it was all weird and awkward, because maybe the final product would be worth it and it'll actually look okay. But at this point, it's weird. Why would WWE not do this themselves? Did The Rock Did The Rock get shut down by the WWE when he had this idea and he decided, well, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna do it myself?
Well, he's not gonna say that if they're able to let him in the ring.
Yeah, and now they're like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and play nice. What happened there? Why is this not a WWE film?
I'm picturing this.
Why is this not on the network?
I'm picturing Rock and Vince sitting in the room, and Rock says, I want to do this, and Vince says, no, And then Rock just raises the eyebrow. He's like, okay. Because it's The Rock. Actually, it's Vince. So
Actually, it's probably Dwayne Johnson,
well,
not The Rock.
and
probably been like, okay.
ask Vince that.
Okay.
So anyway.
All right. We have Bobby joining us here. What's up, Bobby? We also have Juan23. What's up?
456.
In case anybody is coming in late, it looks like Chris is taking over the live chat, so he's the one texting away on there. But if I see something on there and we want to bring it up, we'll bring it up. But what's up, guys? Thanks for joining in on here.
All right. I think one last thing from Raw before we move on to SmackDown. What do you think of the main event? We have Big Show versus Braun Strowman.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I was too.
I was pleasantly surprised with this match. On both parties.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big Show. The old ass joke is, well, it's the Big Slow. Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, he's not exactly a fucking cruiserweight. And even last night or Monday night, he wasn't, 100 miles per hour, but he was keeping up with Strowman, and they were both, rolling downhill, so to speak, and they both were.
It was a good, solid.
It was a good match.
It was a good, solid back and forth match, in which we saw a lot from both. We've seen pictures online of Big Show been working out. He's been losing weight. He's been looking great. Looks like he's in the best shape of his career.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, we're getting more and more used to seeing what Braun Strowman can do. He did a freaking kip up.
He did a kip up.
Good Lord. But it was one of those things. I wish that they did not make a big deal about reinforcing the ring.
Oh, God. I was nauseated by
I was.
time.
And there's two reasons for that.
Okay.
One, Big Show's lost weight. He's not as big as what he was to where you need to enforce the ring. Secondly, when they put that much emphasis on it, it made me feel like that was going to come into play later on.
Yeah.
Like they're so big, they're still going to break the ring. I was still thinking something like that was going to happen. But that, I think for me, that took away the focus of it until I saw this match was going on for more than 5 minutes. They put on a solid match.
Yeah. Going back to the reinforced ring thing, like, I'm sure somebody within WWE Creative, if they heard our criticism of us saying that they put it over too much, they'll probably say, "Oh, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't." If we didn't mention it, then you'd be like, "Man, why do these guys never say that they reinforce the ring anymore?" Well, here's my counter to that. You got to find a balance.
Mm-hmm.
If you never use that line at all anymore, ever, that's going to suck. That's going to be something that's stuck back in the 80s that only Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan used to say, and that's it, and we lost it, and it's like, it'd be nice if they said it again. Mm-hmm. But then if you whore it out so much after not using it for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you've had like Big Show and Mark Henry and like Strowman and Taker and Kane and like all these people in these matches, and you haven't said it for such a long period of time, and then you're gonna make up for lost time in one fucking night and just like mention it 20 times. Yeah, dude, it's gonna get old. You gotta strike that balance. Like, it would have been perfect the first time that Corey said it, I think, is like, "Oh, we're really going to have to reinforce the ring for that one." Okay, that was funny. I appreciate it. Right. Cute. Boom. That's it. Done. Then when Cole said it like a second time, I'm like, "All right, Cole, Corey beat you to that. Yeah. Pump the brakes, buddy." And then they like missed it 2 or 3 more times. And then they showed them coming back from commercial break. "Oh, this is them reinforcing the ring."
They're literally reinforcing the ring.
God damn it. Flip table. Shut the fuck up about reinforcing the ring. And then it does exactly what you said. It makes you think that it's going to play into the match later on, which for me, it did. Because every time they went over to the turnbuckles or climbed up on the rope, because there was a couple of teeter-totter spots there on the turnbuckles, I was like, "Oh, shit, here we go again with Brock and Big Show," where they do the suplex and then boom, boom, boom. The entire, ring gets knocked down. Oh, why? Because they kept putting over the goddamn reinforced the ring. Oh, my God, Cole, even though they reinforced the ring, these two behemoths are like, are we going to make fun of them because they're so fucking fat? Or are you going to bring up the fact, like you said, Big Show lost a ton of weight. Like, he is now the world's largest athlete. He looked like a fucking athlete in there.
I think he was built at 399. 399.
Yeah.
Under 400 pounds. So,
under 400. I remember when he was 7'2", over 500 pounds.
Right.
He's not now. You know, so this is leaner, meaner, you know, version of the Big Show. Man, they should really be putting over to that. Like, yeah, he's still the art.
Did they even mention that? Did they even mention how good he was looking?
Maybe they didn't, but dude, you could still say he's your biggest dude. You could still call him the Big Show, right. But also put on the fact that he is the world's strongest or world's largest athlete. Like, say he's an athlete. He's an athlete. He's trained. He's lost weight. He's cut this and that. He could do all this in the ring. Play up that end of the thing, man. But all right, I'm sorry if I'm just going off.
Is that, too much on that. How does that ring for you for this week? Was that a candidate for you?
That's a candidate. That might be my pick. If we're not counting that NXT match for last week, but maybe for this week, I don't know how that's kind of wonky. But I mean, if we're not counting that, that may have been close to. That's not my pick.
That's a candidate for me. I mentioned this at the start of the show. Me and Chris did a new episode of Dark Match. Now, in that Dark Match episode, Abel, we pointed out the fact that this event that we went to was pay-per-view.
Oh,
you know what that means?
Oh, technically it's on TV. Technically,
it can count, right?
It can count. Okay.
We at that point, I said if he can correct me because he's obviously listening.
Yeah, crazy bastard.
His match of the week pick was the triple threat match from Wrestle Circus.
Okay.
And that match was Desmond Xavier.
Okay.
Versus Phoenix.
Yep.
Versus Killshot.
Okay.
Shane Strickland. But
who's Desmond Xavier?
Well, he's an indie wrestler from
the area, from Austin.
No, he's not from. He's that's funny. We brought that up on the show.
Oh,
but he's kind of from all over. But watch the show to find out where it's from. No, but seriously, they put on a freaking clinic. And I said, you know what, that might be I said on the show, I said, as of right now, that is my match of the week. Big Show versus Strowman for just the simplicity fact of it surprised me. And it's been a long ass time since we've seen two giants like having an actual match instead of, you know, punch, kick, body slam or choke.
Never leave your feet, brother.
Choke slam. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, done. This match went back and forth, and it surprised me. And I think for the rarity's sake of it, I think this might overtake that one because as good as the match of Wrestle Circus was, it's not unique to the genre.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Chris, I know if you're listening, what do you think about that? Let me chat. Tell me.
Yeah, he's gone silent here for a little bit.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. He says still the 3-way.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Still the 3-way.
That was a damn good match. And for $10 in iPay-per-view, it might be worth it.
All right. Let me go back here because these guys, again, they're going off on their own tangent here. Bobby is asking here, he says, Braun is so ready to be champ. He needs the belt on him. It would be interesting. Chris says, well, at this point for the Universal strap, why not?
Well, yeah. It's a two-way street because on one hand, as good as Braun Strowman's been getting, I think he's still learning a lot. I don't think he's there for championship material, but on the other hand, yeah, it's the Universal title. Who gives a fuck?
Well, with this match with Big Show, this is the first time that he's been challenged enough where we could see more of his repertoire, at least kayfabe wise, you know,
or maybe put the U.S. title strap on him
or something. Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of the same way with Asuka. We know Asuka is this badass fucking wrestler, but since she's not challenged enough, you don't see her struggle, so you don't see her grabbing into her bag of tricks as deeply as you would in any other matches. So, like, sometimes some of the stuff that you see from her, you only see so much.
Right.
And I kind of feel the same way with Strowman. Strowman is just like dominating all these jobbers. Well, when he's in a match with somebody that it actually counts, and you see him struggling, you see him selling, you see him having to counter things that are actually devastating. Wow, you see how much more rounded of a wrestler he is. And I think this one match a career does not make. But so far, this one match has gotten to that point where we can see glimpses of, well, what else can he do instead of just throwing around jobbers, you know? So,
the end of the match where he started to pick up Big Show, but he was he's almost dropping him. And that looked
perfect.
That looked so nasty that I liked it because it looked legit. Like he was trying not to drop him on his head, which he probably was, but still, it looked like it was an actual struggle, and he had to he had to fight
when
for
they
that.
each had each other in the suplex position, and one tried to take the other, then the other tried to take the other, and it's like, oh, one barely got off his feet, the other barely. Oh God, somebody's gonna tear an abductor muscle here or something, and then boom, Big Show abductor, yeah, Big Show, boom, snap suplex. Holy shit, it was fucking awesome.
And
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say. Strength, feats of strength is something that you don't see with the smaller guys. The guys like at Russell Circus, the guys in the cruiserweight division. It's all like cool, technical, flippy dippy speed moves, and you don't see the strength moves as much anymore. And make the strength moves interesting, and that's what they were able to pull off in this match.
Right. And one thing I was going to say was that, for the sake of Braun Strowman, imagine how much he learned in that match going up against Big Show.
Chris, I'm sorry. This just made me giggle here. There's too much to scroll up to read the rest here, but basically Chris said this. On the bad side, Braun could kill Goldberg and Lesnar, but then he'll fucking lose to Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Oh, that was a complaint that we were both getting agitated about towards the end of Raw. After the match, Roman's music hits. He comes out and he Superman punch. It looked like he was about to just destroy Braun Strowman in the ring. After all that work,
after he just killed the big fucking
after all
show.
that work of building up a big Braun Strowman, we thought, oh great, Roman's going to come out and kill him 1, 2, 3, or whatever the case may be. But no, Braun still was leaving on top. He still overcame Roman's, kryptonite strength. But
Hector, was also saying that one thing that we failed to mention, again, this relating back to Kevin Owens and Goldberg and stuff, we mentioned this, or we failed to mention this. You forgot to mention how Owens, it scrolled up, so I missed it. You forgot to mention how WWE actually let Owens mention Goldberg's match weakness on live TV. What he's referring to is that if the match goes longer, it's worse.
Well, no, we didn't forget to talk about that because if you let us talk for a second, we're about to get to that. Tell him.
Wait, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. You fucking liar.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what you were going to.
Okay, well then get to it. You son of a bitch.
You just said it. So.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on.
Oh Lord. Okay, what else from Raw? Is that all from Raw?
Chris, ban him. Ban him from the chat.
No, don't ban him. He's here like every fucking week. We're not gonna ban one of our most loyalist listeners.
All right. Let's move on. You want to move on to
SmackDown?
Yeah.
Wait, SmackDown? There's something else from Raw? We're not missing anything from Raw?
Let's see. In Zone Cast or new number one contenders?
Okay. So
yeah.
I don't care at this point.
What else? Is there something that you wanted to talk about?
No. Okay. Not with him.
Okay.
SmackDown it is.
That's why I was moving on.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I got notes, man.
Okay.
All right. SmackDown. SmackDown starts off with Daniel Bryan coming out.
Yes.
He calls out Naomi.
Yep.
I think we all knew where this was going.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. It sucks. I know a lot of people like Naomi. And she worked hard to get to where she's at. And she just came back from injury not too long ago.
Yep.
And she just got hurt as soon as she went. Now, my thing on this is not by design or anything, but like the fact that they had Daniel Bryan come out of all people to strip her of the title after an injury after winning a championship.
I felt like it worked.
Well, it worked. I mean, I know what they're going with, but man, it had to be. I don't know. It was kind of like in a weird, like full circle type situation where he was the one on the other end, and now and how he was like, well, I know what you're thinking, and this and that. So
well, that's why it made sense.
Yeah. Well,
okay. My gripe with it isn't that. My gripe with
I wasn't griping about it. I was just saying
okay.
it's interesting that they had Daniel Bryan do that.
Well, I have a gripe.
Oh, okay.
You opened the show with such a downer, bro.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was such a downer to open the show, man. Like, save that for the start of the second hour or something. Put that in the middle somewhere, because man, starting the show with that was bad. I'm not saying that the segment was bad. I like the segment. I think I like the fact that it was full circle, that it was Debray having to strip her of the title.
Mhm.
Like, I understand the irony there, and now, oh, well, he's the boss, so he has to do it. But he handled it very well. It's like, I don't want to do this to you, but I have to. And then on Talking Smack later, he said, hey, look, if this was any other time, if this wasn't WrestleMania season, we couldn't have our women's champ going to WrestleMania injured and not defending the title. It's WrestleMania season, I had to. So I get it. I totally understand. It makes sense, and I like all that story. But dude, starting the show with that was so brutal, man.
I mean, it wasn't brutal. I mean, because I knew that was. Well, I think what it was, I may have gotten spoiled before I watched SmackDown.
Oh.
So I was kind of already expecting it, but if I didn't see that, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, she drops. She hands the title over. She's walking out. Bliss comes out, as the heel should do,
right,
and say, "Hey, look, you're pushing back my rematch, and I've got it. I need it. It's mine. Give it back to me."
Yeah,
pretty much. So at first, what was about to happen, I kind of cringed a little bit with Daniel Bryan says, "No, you're gonna have a match for it, and it's right now, and here's your opponent." And Becky Lynch comes out and they do all the thing. At first, I was like, "Really? They had it ready to go, like we're on the spot?"
Yeah, that's revealing the business a little bit, brother.
They fixed it. They fixed it on Talking Smack. Becky Lynch was a guest on Talking Smack, and they were talking about the whole situation. And she says, "Yeah, I was told to prepare for a match. I knew I was gonna have a match, but I didn't know what it was for." So Daniel Bryan and all them knew that she was gonna fight for the title and everything. They knew what they were gonna do because Daniel Bryan said that him and Shane talked about it. It was Shane's decision to drop the title and this and that. So they say that basically everybody knew but Becky, pretty much. So Becky, the way that Becky said on Talking Smack was pretty cool. Like, I had to prepare for a match. I just didn't know what it was for. I didn't know it was for a title or anything. So to me, I was the same way. I griped about that to myself, and then I was like, and then by the time I was Talking Smack,
they fixed it.
I was like, holy shit! And that's what I was mentioning to you before we started recording was we talked about this on the show a few times where all it takes is like 30 seconds. Just
a mention,
a sentence. Sometimes it's all it takes to fix some bad booking decisions. And you mentioned the other one that I was going to talk about.
Oh, did I?
Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack, and Daniel Bryan was like, "If this is any other," because I was the same way. I was like, "You can't defend the amount of time." It's like, what? Look at Brock Lesnar. Look at who I think there's some U.S. title reigns that have been floating around that haven't been defended, things like that. But the fact that he said, "If this is any other time of the year, WrestleMania is the most competitive time of the year for us. Yeah, you have to be prepared to go. You have to have." Title, So that fixed everything for me.
Okay,
that. So.
Which again goes to prove that fucking Talking Smack is the third hour of SmackDown. You have to watch it.
Pretty much, yeah. It ties up some loose ends on most cases. So yeah, Becky Bliss had a match. Honestly, I wasn't too into the match just because
I wasn't too into it either because I was just so bummed about Naomi. Yeah, like, God damn.
Well, Bliss won. She's now two-time champ.
She's got the title back, which I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think Mickey came out and after the match.
After the match, Mickey came out.
Started some more shit with Becky.
So,
and Mickey's back to wearing the little Daisy Dukes again. Thanks, Mickey.
All right, so the women's title picture or whatever basically looks like this. Becky is kind of trying somewhat kind of sort of fill in for Naomi, but she lost, and I guess her feud is still going on with Mickey, so she's not really in the main event scene. So we have Bliss at the top of the mountain with no challengers while we have this other feud going on with them two. And then, we also have this other feud going on with Natty and Nikki. So she's standing on top of the heap with the title with no challengers going into Mania?
Yet. You have, 6 weeks? Something like that until WrestleMania?
True.
If this remains to be the same case for a few more weeks and Becky's just still kind of having issues with Mickey. She can't get past that or anything like that. Because on Talking Smack, I think Becky she wanted a match with Mickey next week on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think at some point in some workaround, we might get maybe a 3-way match at Mania. Bliss, Becky versus Bliss versus Becky versus Mickey.
Okay.
Because look at the roster in the women's division right now. You don't have that many choices. Like you said, they're all those 3 women are kind of all connected right now.
Yeah.
So I can maybe see Mickey saying, maybe I'm back for a reason. I need a title shot or something like
And
that.
then Mickey just stabs Bliss in the back, who's been amicable towards her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got time. We got time to figure it out. Yeah.
All right.
But speaking of the women's division, that wasn't the only time we're going to. Oh,
But no, Bobby Lucas said that women's title match sucked ass.
thanks, Bobby. All right. So another women's match we had was Nikki Bella versus Natalya.
That match did not suck ass.
No, it didn't.
I was tempted to make that my match of the week pick. You make a pretty good argument, and me replaying the match in my head between Strowman and Big Show, man, that's still kind of edging it out for me, I think, unless somebody else can convince me otherwise to make it the Falls Count Anywhere women's match. That was a good fucking match.
Yeah. Obviously with the Falls Count Anywhere, it's gonna go kind of.
It's gonna be gimmicky.
Yeah. I'm not sold 100% on Natalya as a heel.
I can believe that. Okay,
she hams it up a little bit too much for my liking. I don't know, as a heel. But Nikki, I think, for all intents and purposes, she did a good job in that match. Natalya, when she wrestles, she's in the match. She's not playing a character. She's good. Of course, it goes in the backstage area, and there's a spot where they're tussling around, and we see a woman walk, and she gets pushed into Maurice. She gets pushed into Maurice through the curtain, whatever. Which follow that up with Nikki smashing Natalya through that mirror. Or whatever. Yeah, that was a cool looking plot, But
for the second time, Maurice has gotten knocked over.
If you didn't get the hint at the pay-per-view when the powder was thrown in her face, and that was the start of the feud, remember where you were when that feud started. Now this is the second time. And now we're about to see the follow-up of that when the match continues. There's been interest ramp. Nikki was about to win. She had her in the STF, and looks like she was about to tap, but no, Maurice comes out with a lead pipe. As the lead pipe, as French Canadian women tend to do sometimes.
Yes.
And
instead of bashing her fucking brains in, she gingerly tapped her on the ass with it, which still isn't that bad.
Well, for PG, might as well been
I guess so. Yeah.
So what I liked about that, which I thought was peculiar, was when Miz came out and was stopping her, and dragging her out and not antagonizing the situation. He was just like, no, get back. And I was like, okay, that's. Because we heard the rumors. We've been hearing the rumors of the mixed tag match.
Mixed tag, Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki.
But when Miz it seemed like Miz didn't want her to get involved. Like he was like, no, and he was like, no, don't,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. But that ended that match, and Natalya won. I don't know if that ends the feud with Natalya. And then now we're moving on to Maurice and Nikki and Miz and Cena.
Maybe.
Because of what happened at the main event.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Well, yeah, let's get to that. But I kind of want to rewind a little bit here with the chat. Again, these guys are going crazy, which is great. I'm glad that we have some activity here. Basically, I'm going to just try to condense this down here just to instead of read everybody's off. Natty will be the third person in that three-way in challenge. Chris says no because you need a face to replace Naomi. Well, you already have a face in there in Becky. So Becky versus two other heels? Why the hell not? But then I think it was Hector said, oh, well, what if somebody gets called up? And somebody mentioned, or I think it was Hector also saying, no, it could be Eva Marie. Oh, shit.
I don't think she's with the company anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, what about Carmella?
Could be Carmella. Chris says anti-corporate Emma go to SmackDown as a tweener.
I'm down for that. As long as it's Emma.
Yeah. So, yeah, all kinds of interesting stuff that could actually happen if you remember the fact that, you could get a trade in here somewhere. And if the Emma thing failed on Raw, I don't see why not. They couldn't just trade her to SmackDown, have Steph be pissed off at her because it didn't work or whatever, and get rid of her. Yeah, maybe. That could make sense, kayfabe-wise.
Yeah, it could. Okay, so anything else from that? Or
No. That's it for right now, I suppose.
Okay. Well, before we get into the main event, there was one more thing I had on my notes here that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
We come back from commercial break and we see Breezango or Fang, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know.
The fashion popo.
Yeah. Whatever. So they're
I like it.
Yeah, you would.
I wish that they would flesh out that gimmick a little bit more. Let them actually have the stick.
You would want more flesh from that.
Oy.
Help me out, Chris. Anyway, so American Alpha come out, right? So they destroy them, as they should. So that's not the interesting point about this segment.
Okay.
Match is over. We get Usos coming out from the side, cutting probably the damnedest promo I've ever heard them do.
Yes.
Since they've been employed with WWE.
Yes.
That was amazing.
I agree.
I don't care if it's like they're trying to do like Thugonomics 101 or whatever the case may be. I don't care.
102.
Yeah, right. They've been heels since the brand split pretty much, give or take a few weeks. But they didn't do anything. Like they turned heel.
And we were excited that first couple of weeks.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything with him. They kind of
dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Well, didn't one of them get injured?
I think so. But
yeah.
But even then, they didn't. They could have done other stuff, but they didn't do anything with him. And so time goes on, and they even had a pay-per-view where there's no contenders or anything. There's nothing was going on with that tag team division.
Yeah.
And now Usos come out, and if you haven't heard it, if you missed SmackDown or missed the promo, I did share it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you go to our Facebook page, it's on there. It's so I don't know I don't know how to describe it, but it was just
it's intense.
Yeah,
it was real. It was raw.
It had some humor in it, but it had some intensity to it.
Yeah.
Some heelishness to it. Yeah.
I really liked it. I felt like they really had fucking wrestling cliche here. They turned themselves up to 11.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they did. And with the fact that they're twins, I feel like they've never played up this part of themselves before where they would finish each other's sentences right in beat, right in time, and not fucking fuck it up or anything.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Like somebody would say one and then the other one would say the other and ba, 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 ba. Way better than Cass and Enzo do their listing off things and saying how you doing in between.
Yeah.
And it was just really good. And the way that they were describing it, and it took me watching it a second time to really be like, wow, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because the first time it just kind of blindsided me. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? And the first thing I actually
what was
noticed,
that awesomeness coming from? What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't as enamored with it the first time as when I watched it the second and third time. The first time, the only thing I noticed is that, and I'm sorry, I just still don't know the difference between Jimmy and Jay, but for labeling ease.
Jimmy was wearing the hat, I think. He was the one doing the main talking.
Okay.
I think.
Jimmy, his voice was nice and deep and assertive.
Right.
You know what, we're going to do. But then Jay was like, yeah, we're going to do. Like he was like cracking his voice and going way too high pitched. Like he was talking from his nose and his throat and not from his diaphragm, you know? Like it was a little off-putting. It was a little off-putting.
Well, speech coach over here.
I know. I know. The reason why I fucking picked up on it is because I'm bad at that too. Every time I rewatch myself, I'm like, wow, quit talking from your nose. But
he rewatches himself.
I do, and I cry myself to sleep at night watching it. Anyway, that was what was bothering me, and I'm afraid that maybe other people didn't appreciate how good it was by the fact that they were making fun of Jay or Jimmy or whichever one cracking his voice so much.
I never heard anybody laugh or complain or anything about that.
Good.
You're the first person that I heard do that.
Then I'm glad that I'm the only one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the promo itself was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I want more of that.
Yes.
And the one thing that you said that you should pay attention to is when you said after I went back and watched it to the second and third time, you went back and watched it because that's how good it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I also went back and watched it because you posted it on our Facebook page. So
damn right it did.
But on Talking Smack, I don't know if I liked it.
Yeah, I know. I think I know where you're going with that.
They relaxed and became faces again for a little bit, being all chummy with D-Bry, and like they try to keep their heel persona and their intensity and be a dick, but I feel like there was a disconnect with what they were there in the arena on SmackDown proper and what they were on Talking Smack. On Talking Smack, they were they were still trying to keep up the heel stuff, but
they were failing miserably.
They were relaxing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, D. Braun, and like, oh, well, this is why we did this, and this is why we did that. And like Hector's trying to say that they explained their emotion on Talking Smack. Sorry, Hector, I have to disagree with you here. I feel like they just kind of dropped the kayfabe on Talking Smack.
They did, yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of what Miz and AJ have done to get themselves over.
Right.
They play up the fucking kayfabe
Right.
and really be dicks and heels.
You know what? I think that is all on Renee. I think that's Renee's fault. Renee's the one that dropped kayfabe on that because she's the one that brought up Naomi.
Oh, yeah, because that's why they started.
That has never been acknowledged on TV. Well, before the whole heel split and everything, they were together. But I don't think it was acknowledged on TV that they were married.
It's been acknowledged only on Total Divas.
I know before Naomi went heel because one of them got hurt on Raw before the brain split and all that.
Right.
A couple years ago, they were together. She was like she would follow him out and everything. But that was all face stuff. That was all she was with him. And I don't think that was they were married. And maybe I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
Something along those lines.
But anyway, it's been so long since that. It's kind of weird that she would bring that up all of a sudden after all these character changes they've done, and then for Jimmy to say that he was in tears.
Oh yeah, you had to make me do that while we were crying in the back. Why'd you have to make me cry, D-Bry? And like
now, if he said that more angrily, like more pissed off, like that, maybe that would be forgivable.
But then you got to straddle that line where you got to stay the heel, but the one that you're acknowledging to be your wife
is a
face, and had like something super face like. How do you continue to garner the sympathy if you're a heel and you're going to be a dick about it? It was very complicated. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Renee's fault.
That's the biggest thing that's one of the biggest issues that I have with today's wrestler lifestyle, kayfabeness, social media interactions. Like it's so hard to keep a wrestler in character.
Yeah,
and because like I think that kind of hurt them being on Talking Smack. Like you had all that momentum with that awesome segment they had on SmackDown, and then you watch Talking Smack, and it's like down to where they were before.
Yeah, where they were a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know,
just buddy. Now they can fix that by having D-Bry just put them in a match they don't want to be in, or not give them a title shot or whatever. Then they turn on D-Bry and get in his face and start cutting a hard ass promo on D-Bry. Because right now, D-Bry hasn't really done anything to evoke that reaction from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's still time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's I don't know. But other than that, I think that's I don't know if it's just a nitpick or if that's a valid, something to bring up as far as what they did on Talking Smack.
Okay.
I think that's all I had for SmackDown. Did you have anything else you want to talk
about? Corbin. And some of the more details of
the main event. We never
got to the fucking main event.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay, all right. So I like how Corbin was booked to be pretty strong in that Battle Royal as well.
Right.
I almost said Royal Rumble. I also liked how we got the setup for Miz for Maurice and Nikki, but we got even more setup for Miz and Cena in that Battle Royal where Miz was kind of getting in his groove. Cena just tosses his ass out unceremoniously. He jumps back in, tosses Cena's ass out.
Pause for a second. Shame on the audience in that arena when Miz was mocking Daniel Bryan with the yes things and doing yes kicks and everything, and the fans were chanting yes along with them. The hell is wrong with you people? Honestly. Anyway, so it's one of those things where we've heard the rumors of this match happening, and then you see this happen with Maurice, and then this happen again with Maurice. Like, okay, well, I guess we're having. And then the Battle Royal happens, and then Cena happens to eliminate Miz, and then Miz just happens to get in and eliminate Cena. It's like, okay, well, there you go.
Is it too on the nose? And I'm posing this as a question. Is it too on the nose that D-Bry's surrogate to battle Miz is his brother-in-law?
Oh, I didn't put that connection together, but I hope not. Like, I hope that's not. It's probably just like another layer of that storyline they'll tell.
Okay, because if he's still out there doing the yes kicks, but he's having a feud with Cena, who's his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. I get it because that has been acknowledged. We all know that this is the family unit here. But I'm afraid that maybe there'll be that too much on the noseness there of that. I don't feel like it is, but that's why I'm asking. Like, if you felt like that, or if any of our listeners feel that way.
I didn't put that connection on there.
Okay.
I'm still. I think I'm with Chris on this. Like, if Miz is continuing to mock Daniel Bryan, then damn it, we need to see at some point Miz versus Daniel Bryan. So come hell or high water, that match has got to happen if they continue that. Because if they don't, what's the fucking point of just Miz being a dick?
Well,
I mean, more so than usual.
He's a heel.
Well, usually you can do that to somebody you can fight and get your comeuppance tooth, But with Daniel Bryan, what are they doing with that? Daniel Bryan, I'm sure he's about to leave because Bree's, about a pop.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen after that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So is that just wasted material on Miz?
But are we down on this then? Because it sounds like you're going to be kind of down on this feud. I'm not. I'm excited for this feud, but that might just be because I'm a Miz mark. Miz versus Cena and or D-Bry mixed
I just don't care about it
with all of them. No,
I don't care. I don't care about the fact that Nikki bumped into Maurice in backstage twice. I don't care the fact that if Maurice wanted to cost Nikki the match and they want to have a one-on-one match, sure, fine. It just, I don't know. I just kind of wish that there were no WrestleMania rumors. I wish that there was no dirt sheets or anything to where it kind of ruins things for me.
Even if don't read them.
You don't have to read them to see fucking headlines pop up on Facebook and shit. I don't read everything. I don't click on articles. But when the fucking headline is Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice rumored at WrestleMania, and then you start seeing the fucking blueprints on TV. Yeah, you put two and two together. Well,
that's not necessarily WWE's fault. That just might be the fault of the way our fandom culture is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, so that's that, and then we get to you want to get to the end of the match. Sure. Okay, so we have Harper and AJ is the last two. Now, again, going back to what we've been seeing on the internet for a long time, and just us as a collective audience, I think we're kind of trying to connect the dots with this, for the most part, a very interesting storyline of what's going on with the Wyatts. With Randy Orton, what the hell is Randy Orton doing?
What's he thinking? Giving up his WrestleMania main event spot.
Okay. Now, and the rumor is it's going to be maybe a triple threat between Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper. I was thinking about this before we get into the finish of this. I was thinking about this after last week's episode when Randy Orton gave up his title shot. He says, I refuse to fight him.
Yeah.
Okay. So thinking about that in those words, the way Orton put that.
Right.
And then everybody's saying, oh, well, this is going to be a triple threat match. Wyatt, Orton, Harper, whatever. Why? Why would that be a triple threat match? Why would Orton fight after he just said on TV that he wouldn't fight him?
After he said on TV that he wouldn't fight him, and D-Bry honored that. Why would D-Bry or even Shane be like, okay, well then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and stick you in this match. No, bitch, you already gave up your spot.
Right.
You said you weren't going to do it.
Right. Now, on top of that, say it is Harper that wins the match next week. We'll get into that here in a second. And it is Harper and Wyatt, and then Orton's thrown in there. How dumb would that make Orton look? You had a one-on-one match. Now you have a 1/3 chance of winning the fucking title at WrestleMania. How stupid are you? I mean, seriously. Is that wrong? Like, why would he put himself in a triple threat match when he used easily a one-on-one match before?
Maybe his motivation isn't winning matches and winning titles, but just stirring up the pot within the Wyatt family.
He already did that.
I know. But
he did that. Mission accomplished.
I'm grasping at straws here, but I don't want to shit all over this because I think this is a good grasping at straws because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm still interested and I want to see what's.
I know everybody's interested in the storyline. I'm interested in the storyline, but we'll call a spade a spade. That's a flaw in that storyline.
Okay.
Unless they got 6
weeks, it can still be fixed.
Exactly, they do. And I know some people. Okay, let's talk about the finish real quick. The finish was it was supposed to be a double elimination at the same time. They were supposed to fall at the same time, and
right.
It was a draw. We don't have a winner. Well,
AJ hit first.
This is what happens when you have a 5-foot man versus a 7-foot man and trying to eliminate each other at the same time.
I'm serious. This what is Harper 7 feet?
Well, what is AJ 5 feet? So I'm exaggerating for purposes of this.
I got you.
So yeah, clearly, you don't even have to do instant replay. AJ landed first, right? Okay, so
clearly he landed first.
Yeah. So we have the big schmaltz at the end. All the referees come out. Daniel Bryan comes running out.
He blows both of his quads running out there, sliding into the ring. Oh no!
Where's the instant replay? We always have instant replays on these kind of things, unless it was a botched finish and you don't want to show that botched finish.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it was a botched finish.
Yeah. So
we don't have any good replays in the truck because Kevin Dunn was fucking.
Bitch, you got
off.
20 cameras in that fucking ring. You got that goddamn image. You got that angle.
You have that angle.
So yeah. So they said they're not going to. And on Talking, I think it was on Talking Smack. They said that next week is going to be AJ versus Harper for the
number one contender.
Yeah. So now I know I was reading some opinions online about the finish. A lot of people were upset that the whole the whole false finish draw ending, botch ending. But
it physically got botched, but that wasn't a botch in storyline writing. It was a botch in the performers pulling off what they were supposed to do.
Right. It was supposed to be like that because it's supposed to drag out the 6 or 7 weeks that we have until WrestleMania. Because think about it, if Harper went in and won, or if AJ just won, we would have like rematches like for like 4 weeks. We'd have like the same matches, them fighting each other.
Yeah.
Until so, if they're gonna keep dragging this out, I'm okay for it. I'm okay with it for right now. But they do need to, I think, next at least 2 more weeks, they need to solidify the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah. Especially since Raw has Fastlane and SmackDown already had their pay-per-view in between. Like, now is the time for them to fucking build.
Right.
So you got like a week or two for you to actually have your main fucking event.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, undercard, I kind of understand you want to wait on that, drag your feet a little bit. Even then, that annoys me a little bit. For WrestleMania, you should have pretty much your entire card already done 2, maybe 3 weeks out.
You know what I liked about the build-up for this main event is Battle Royal?
What's that?
All throughout the show, they had the wrestlers doing thoughts on the match. They would all say a few things about the show, about the match, what they're, basically a promo. They're all doing their promos.
Ziggler's was weird.
Ziggler's was dumb. That was the worst one. He had a weird background, and then he's trying to be cool and whatever, and he just like super kicked the
green screen
to his locker room, and I was like, that was gay. I'm sorry. No. If whatever you're trying to do with Ziggler's heel turn, stop.
It was good when he like brought up the thing with Lawler and that he actually almost murdered him. Like, that was good.
They had some good points, but then you lost to the faces of the pay-per-view, and then this promo trying too hard to be bad promo, and then super kicking a CG screen. And the sound effects of the glass breaking, it was just...
That was weird.
That was bad. That was the worst one.
Wasn't bad.
I do love the fact that out of all the people talking their shit about what they're going to do, all Miz's was doing his makeup. I think he said something in there, but he was like, get my... I thought that was like him just being, his character. But anyway. Anything else about SmackDown that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think we're good.
Do you think that this was better than? You think Raw was still better than?
I think Raw was better than SmackDown this week. I think that with whatever's going on with the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, that needs to be cleared up ASAP. This week, last week, okay, you could kind of be forgiven. You Royal Rumble. You don't really have an undercard. Okay, fine. You need to unmucky those waters, fucking pronto.
Well, I think for the U.S. title, we're gonna get something at Fastlane with Jericho coming out, and that'll set. We're gonna find out something about that.
Okay.
With that whole situation after Fastlane, I think. If not on Fastlane, the night after on Raw. For the Intercontinental title, who's the champ? Dean.
Dean. I guess it's gonna be Dean and Corbin.
That's what I'm thinking.
But what I was hoping, and maybe it's too late to hope this, but what I was hoping is that we were going to have Corbin versus Strowman and Raw versus SmackDown.
It's too soon for that.
You think so?
I think it's too soon.
Too soon for a Raw versus SmackDown match, or too soon for them to?
Both.
Okay.
We don't need that right now.
Okay.
Maybe down the road, if we get like some kind of bragging rights or maybe Survivor Series or something, then maybe. This is where we're at that point.
Okay.
But right now, it's too soon. They're still solidifying their brand split.
So you don't want to have Vince versus Trump, President Trump, with a hair versus hair match again?
No.
In full swing of Trump's actual presidency?
No.
Okay.
Although one thing I would like to see at WrestleMania is Nakamura getting his wish granted, because apparently he noticed that AJ Styles doesn't have a match at WrestleMania yet. Of course, Styles countered that with saying, well, I'll be main eventing WrestleMania after I win this match. He didn't win the match, but hey, he's got that one-on-one match next week on SmackDown.
Which, God, I hope that's true, because I do not want to see him face fucking Shane.
Yeah, where's that rumor come from? Yeah,
from the internet.
Yeah, must be true, right?
Right.
Yeah, I do not. Yeah, Shane versus Styles. No, come on.
I'm sorry. Well, Hector, in reference to the super kick by Ziggler, said what was even more gayer, which is great freaking English right there. What was more gayer was when he went on Twitter and saying that he was going to make that into a GIF. That sounds like that would have been pretty stupid.
No, Hector had the right terminology for that.
More gayer?
Yeah.
All right. There's speculation on here. Bobby saying Harper versus Styles will be the main event.
Is Chris still on there? What's Chris doing?
I don't know. Chris just kind of suddenly went away and stopped commenting. So I don't know what the hell his problem is. He says it's WWE. They never do anything smart for Mania. Unless it becomes a four-way. Again, how do you fix Orton wedging himself into that match after he's thoroughly unwedged himself from that match? I don't understand how you do it.
I think I brought a valid point to the flaw in that storyline. I think that after Royal Rumble, I think maybe they may have seen the fact that they may have painted themselves in a corner.
Maybe. I mean, you can't. Right now, I don't see how there's a plausible way, whether it's one-on-one, three-way, four-way, 16-way. I don't see a way to just give it back to freaking Orton. Unless like Vince comes out and says, no, the winner of the fucking Royal Rumble, against your will, you're going to have this match, which even that will be kind of silly. But he said he doesn't want the title. Yeah. He doesn't want the title match.
He will not fight him.
He won the Royal Rumble, and he said no. And D-Bar was like, okay. Like how do you can't fix that. Like, he can't just interfere in a match and all of a sudden get thrown in there. He can't just win a number one contender match because we're going to have a number one contender match that doesn't involve him. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in this. Like, this is a complaint that I'm happy about.
What if?
Oh.
No, I'm just brainstorming here. I don't even know if this is
Chris is still here.
I don't know if this logistically will work out, but what if, say, AJ beats Harper for the number one spot, whatever, and on a whim on a SmackDown, they have, as a preview for Mania, whatever, they have an impromptu title match between Wyatt and Styles beats Wyatt for the title. Now Orton's like, well, I said I wouldn't fight Wyatt, but I don't have any problems fighting Styles.
What was his exact wording on SmackDown? Did he say, I refuse to fight you?
Yeah.
He said, I refuse to fight Bray.
Right. I'm your servant or something.
As long as so was his caveat, as long as Bray is holding the title, I'm not going to.
Did he specify that? All I know is he said he was a servant. He's not going to fight him.
Okay.
He's the master. He's a servant.
We might have to go rewatch what his exact wording is, because maybe that's your fix there. If they somehow get the title off of Bray and put it on somebody else, like Harper or AJ, know, and then, it could be a four-way or three-way or a fucking orgy. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd like that one. Ooh. All right. Do we have anything else from Raw or SmackDown?
Let me catch up here on the chat now that Chris is back and biased, dude. Okay, Nakamura. Hector says Nakamura versus Styles would be awesome if that happens. I wonder if WWE will acknowledge him headlining Wrestle Kingdom the year before.
They have to.
It's Wrestle Kingdom. They're not probably not going to mention that.
They mentioned
maybe Morrow.
Morrow will.
Morrow
he fucking commented. Didn't he commentate one of them? I think he's gonna have to. Morrow, I would assume that Morrow would do it even if he told not to, and he would lose his job.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
but anyway,
all right,
yeah. So one last thing we're gonna do before we wrap up.
Yeah,
it's another week.
Yes, another week. So we had 3 more celebrity wrestling deaths.
Oh yeah,
that too. Okay, so 2 more things. No, Ivan Koloff,
the Russian bear.
Yeah. Yes, and Nicole Bass, and then I'm blanking on the last one. Oh, Georgia Animal Steel. There you go.
Just the biggest one of the 3.
Georgia Animal Steel and Koloff, they were actually acknowledged on Raw and SmackDown, I believe.
Right.
But Nicole Bass was not, which I guess I kind of get it. You know, she was there just for a cup of coffee. Yeah. So whatever. But yeah, that sucks that they died. They come in 3s. That's terrible.
Shit, unless you're in 2016, you come in like 30s.
Yeah, they had a discount value pack. Shit. All right. So yes, this is the last week of round 1.
Yes.
Last week of round 1
of what?
HWR Mania Madness. Ooh, yeah. Basically, we took all 32 because there's been 32 WrestleManias, so that lines up neatly with NCAA style tournament brackets. And we are having you, the listeners, vote. And we are on
when you vote.
We're on the last week of the first round. Next week we'll start round 2, and then the subsequent weeks after that we'll go into quarters and semis and et cetera, all the way to finals. Hopefully that'll all line up. Well, no, we did the math. It will line up.
Wait, what's going on here? Let's see. What?
Oh, Chris is already calling. Okay.
What's up, ladies?
Oh, this son of a bitch.
Oh, thanks for joining the conversation.
Wait. Hold on. You actually have a picture of Samoa Joe.
No, it's me. I got a picture of Samoa Joe because he's...
Yeah, you got a picture of Samoa Joe for Chris. Whenever Chris calls you, Samoa Joe's face pops up.
Yeah, you should see what I got for you. All right.
What do you have for me?
All right.
No, I actually still have that bag of Puto chips that Abel sent me a few years ago as his profile picture.
Can you hear this okay? Well, it's going to be an echo for you, Chris, but our listeners...
Like a 10-second delay.
Our listeners, can you let us know if you can hear Chris okay? Here, let me try to... turn this up. Okay, I got this.
All right, that's all right. Well, you back it off a little bit.
I don't know. My speakerphone sucks.
Let's see if this sound works.
So there you have it. Okay.
Do you want to take over, Chris? Do you want what are we doing here? What do you want to do?
We'll make this quick. We got 4 matches. This is the last bracket from the first round.
Right.
So let's just get into it. WrestleMania 3 against WrestleMania 30.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So far,
WrestleMania 3 versus WrestleMania 30. All
right.
Yeah. 3 only has 1 vote.
Wait, 3 only has 1 vote?
3 only has 1 vote.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 30 or Yesomania has all the other votes.
That's the power of this.
Yeah. So I guess either way that we vote, it's not going to sway anything.
What would you pick though? What are our picks? What would you pick, Abel?
Oh, Hector says he can hear him loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Hector. My pick is WrestleMania 30. I mean, yeah, sure, WrestleMania 3 has Andre versus Hogan, but if you ever go back and look at that match is shit. I mean, yeah, sure, Hogan picked up Andre and he slammed him, and it's historical, great, all this and that. But the actual quality of the match itself, no, it's terrible. The undercard, it was okay, forgettable. Like, I remember Akeem, the fucking,
Hold on. I can't believe you started that entire conversation with Hogan Andre. You know Travis and I are thinking about fucking Steamboat Savage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then defend yourself, sir. Are you picking 3?
With Steamboat and Savage said, fuck WrestleMania 3.
Chris,
30 hands down.
Chris, tell me a few more things besides the Daniel Bryan whole situation on WrestleMania 30. What else was on WrestleMania 30?
The end of the streak.
Taker losing the streak.
All right. Yeah, you got me on that. All right, WrestleMania 30 wins it.
30, all of us. Yeah. Anybody in the chat, let us know.
Nah, screw them. 30 wins.
Oh, all
right. What else we got?
What's the next one? And guys in the chat, vote on this too if you want to. What's the next bracket?
We can make a difference on this one. WrestleMania 19 is up by 2 votes against WrestleMania 14.
19
WrestleMania 19,
14.
I remember Abel saying might be his favorite WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, that's definitely my pick. Even though I'm from Houston, my pick of my favorite WrestleMania of all time is 19. I liked it
of all time.
Of all time.
So this is gonna be your pick regardless of whatever it goes against.
Whatever it goes against, this is my pick.
Wow.
This is the one that I have always liked best out of all of them. Better than 17, better than 30.
But you hate Shawn Michaels. And that was his big return to WrestleMania.
Yeah, and him versus Jericho was a really good match. I don't know. I just liked it. The first match, you had Matt Hardy in there, version 1 versus Rey Mysterio. That was a really good match, start to finish.
Was that when Matt Hardy was trying to be a cruiserweight? He kept training. They showing him wearing the rubber suits to try to lose weight and everything on the treadmill. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on.
It was Safeco Field. It was an awesome fucking environment out there in the big old stadium in Seattle, open air. I don't know. I really
Lesnar versus Angle.
Yeah, Lesnar versus Angle, where he almost breaks his neck. Hogan versus Vince, where it just got bloody as shit and just ugly. It was an ugly, beautiful match.
That was the one where Vince was popping up, his head raises up from the ring. He's all bloody face. Looks like the goddamn devil. All right. As good as 14 was historic, like WrestleMania 3 was, is the fact that it ushered in the Attitude Era with Austin beating Shawn Michaels for the title. But there's so much of if you go back and look at it now, it's just so gritty and undefined. It's so that stage of in between the New Generation and the Attitude Era.
New Generation, or do you mean Attitude and Ruthless Regression?
No. The New Generation was right before the Attitude Era.
Oh, you're talking about 14, not 19.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. And 19 was like that too, where it was kind of a transitional phase. But besides Austin winning, there was a good tag team match with New Age Outlaws and Terry Funk and then Mick Foley. But other than that, it was the first Undertaker Kane. Mm-hmm. After months of Undertaker saying, "I'm not going to fight my brother."
Yeah,
that was an awesome build.
That was good.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 14 isn't bad. This is a pretty darn good WrestleMania. If it was going up against any other one besides 19, I might have voted for 14.
You're also forgetting Ken Shamrock against The Rock for the IC title, which I thought was a really good match that was up there on the card.
I agree.
But
was that a WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. But I still agree. I think after 14's not a bad one. There's just a lot on the plate for 19. I mean, you have Shawn Michaels against Chris Jericho, The Rock's Stone Cold's final match against The Rock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not the next Shawn Michaels. I'm the first Chris Jericho.
Exactly.
Dude. Oh God, that feud, that match was great. The only flaw, there's only one flaw that I've seen in WrestleMania 19. Then the only flaw in that was the finish of Booker versus Triple H.
Yeah.
Booker should have won that match. Everything else, even the match itself between Booker and Triple H was pretty damn good. Everything else in there, I fucking love.
Chris, what are we at on the votes?
I'll go one further. I think for me, the biggest flaw of WrestleMania 19 was apparently there was supposed to be all kinds of hype that John Cena was supposed to have a battle rap with Eminem or some other famous rapper.
What?
Even though they didn't get that done, there was no Cena. There was maybe a 30-second rap of Cena. Like that.
He did an entrance ramp promo. That's all it was.
Yeah. Like you think the first John Cena big thing he does is WrestleMania 20 winning the U.S. title? They should have pulled the trigger and done something with Cena at WrestleMania 19.
Oh yeah, because his career was so short, right?
But I got 19.
What are we at? What's the tally?
14 only got 2 votes, so 19 is going on to face WrestleMania 30 next round.
Then 19, I guess.
Okay. Hector also says WrestleMania 19. He said Taker versus Flair.
Yeah.
Taker Flair was 18.
Was it?
Yeah, 19 was a handicap match.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one's going to be pretty easy. WrestleMania 11 doesn't have a vote in hell. WrestleMania 22 is sweeping the entire thing.
Yeah. While WrestleMania 19 versus WrestleMania 14 is like really, really, really good WrestleMania versus a also pretty damn good WrestleMania, this bracket is like really, really bad WrestleMania versus a all right WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think I'm going 22 by default because 11 might be the worst Mania.
We had Bam Bam versus Lawrence Taylor. We had Shawn versus Diesel in the main event. Wait, that was the one that had Melissa McCarthy and what's her face?
Jenna something.
Jenna McCarthy and Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson. There you go.
So that's some nice eye candy for the.
Didn't they also have Salt and Pepper perform?
Sure. But yeah, but yeah, that one doesn't win. We're going 20. Chris, run down some of the features of WrestleMania 22 for us.
I don't know if I'd call it features. I mean, we had a casket match with Taker and Mark Henry.
I like that match actually.
Oh yeah.
We had it kind of was. I don't know if it was forced, but it felt kind of awkward having Ray in that triple threat with Orton and Angle.
Oh,
yeah.
That's that Mania.
That was
I enjoyed that match.
I did not like Ray winning. I don't mind him beating the match, but because it was forced, I don't like him winning it.
I didn't mind.
Dude, the Cena HBK though match that main evented that show was actually
that
good.
was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
That was before they went for an hour on Raw, like a couple of Raws after, right?
I'm sorry. No. Cena HBK was WrestleMania 23. HBK, no, it was Cena Triple H that Cena got the fuck booed out of that arena.
On 22?
Oh, at 22.
That was 22.
Was 22 in Detroit, or is that 23?
22 was in Chicago. 23 was in Detroit.
See, I always get 22 and 23 mixed up.
Okay.
No, here's the bit. 22 technically was the debut of CM Punk as one of Cena's little mafia men gang guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
just by
22
default,
sweeping it.
that'll win. No.
Yeah. 22 sweeps it. So.
All right.
Awesome. So then what does that make it for round 2 of that particular bracket?
We got one more, right?
One more?
Yeah.
We got one more.
Oh, sorry.
We have WrestleMania 27 is 2 votes ahead of WrestleMania 6. Hogan Warrior from WrestleMania 6.
I'll make this really easy for both of y'all. My pick is 6.
Yeah, you know what, Travis, I'm gonna go old school with you too. I'm gonna go 6 just because Warrior
Fucking
Hogan.
hipster. All right, so yeah, Hogan Warrior. Hogan Warrior is gonna. I don't give a shit what was on. What was it? 27? I don't even know what WrestleMania 27 was. What was the features of WrestleMania 27? Because I don't know.
27 was John Cena against The Rock with The Miz actually holding the title.
Was that once in a lifetime or is that twice in a lifetime?
No, this was The Rock hosting
that was before
WrestleMania.
that. That was before. See, I get those other ones mixed up, man. That was the one where Miz main evented against Cena.
Yeah, 27 was Triple H getting his revenge, trying to get revenge for HBK's 2 losses to Taker. That was Taker Triple H 1. Well, technically 2, but they didn't count it.
That was in the Hell in a Cell, right?
No, that was not Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. End of an Era would have been the following WrestleMania.
That's it. I'm telling you, I get those later ones mixed up, man. Oh, Jesus.
I think the only bright spot was Michael Cole in his little coal miner's cage during commentary.
Oh, now I know I don't like it. Fuck that shit. No, hey, no. So that was the first Taker Triple H with horrid ending. Yeah. With the choke out with the sledgehammer, and they had to cart out Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Okay, well then let me ask you this: where a lot of stuff with that WrestleMania, we're like shitting all over it, but we're like, oh, Hogan Warrior, yay! But what about the undercard? What about the undercard of that Mania? I mean, there was Hogan Warrior. What the hell else happened?
Stuff that didn't happen on WrestleMania 27. Actually, I'll tell you one thing. It was finally after 3 years. It was Andre turning on Bobby the Brain Heenan and leaving the Heenan family.
Ooh.
After they lost, they dropped the belts to Demolition. It was Andre and Haku. They dropped the belts to Demolition, and that's when Bobby was like pointing the finger and how dare you, this and that, and Andre just like fucking hand paws his fucking face. Yeah.
Well, since I'm the tie-breaking vote, I am actually going to go WrestleMania 6.
Wow, you're a good guy, Chris. Unless Hector has something to say about it here. Oh, he says, I say WrestleMania 27 just for being a Dixon. Okay, a Dickinson? I guess he meant to say that he was going to be a dick. Also, just seeing Triple H coming out to Metallica. Metallica? Wasn't he coming?
That was 28.
So you're wrong, Hector.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that just be a dick, then we're gonna be a dick and not count your vote.
Well, if we're gonna stick with this tie, then we'll have to figure it out next week. But that's right now. It's tied 6-27.
We can't have a tie. We can't have a tie.
That's too much of a pain in the ass.
We'll figure it out. We got a couple of weeks before we get to that side of the bracket again. So basically, right now, WrestleMania 30 is going to go against WrestleMania 19, and then WrestleMania 22 is going to go against either 6 or 27, or fuck it, we can just do a triple threat for that round.
I don't think it works like that.
No, that's going to be too much graphic making for Travis over here.
No, I just won't do it.
I really hope Bobby is still in here, or like somebody else that was in the chat earlier that just chime in and say, hey, look, this is the tiebreaker. But I don't know.
Fix this shit
That's
right now.
it, man.
No, we ain't done yet. Hold on.
Well,
I'll fix this shit.
I'll
fix this shit.
Yeah,
right.
you're gonna learn today. All right.
You're gonna learn
What's he
today.
doing? Oh, I see what he's doing. You want to talk about being a Dickinson here? Okay, I think we know which WrestleMania is winning now. Like, oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. Just wait. Chris, do you have your eye on the live chat? Oh wait, here, mute that.
I bet Travis is gonna just put 6 on the graphic anyway, so fuck it, 6 is going up next round.
No, look, there it is. Pop Culture Rewind
check the live
came
chat.
in with
Look
a vote.
look at his chimed in.
Yeah, the live chat. Pop Culture Rewind. Who did that?
Bitch.
That must be Xavier.
Dude, if fucking Bobby Lucas chimes in with 27, we are federally fucked.
Dude, let's move on fast. Close the brackets.
Okay,
close
the bracket. It's done.
Or Juan Numbers fucks in with 27, we're fucked.
Yeah. All right.
The voting has
That's
been
it for
cast.
the first round. Our first round's officially done. Next week we start round number 2.
All right. With round number 2, Chris, let me ask you, how many matchups are we going to have per week, and how many weeks is round 2 going?
Again, it's going to be 4 matchups. I think it's only going to be 2 weeks for round 2.
2 weeks for round 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to having you back here so we don't have to do this over the phone. Are you enjoying yourself in California?
Oh, it's awesome, dude. I am sitting right now underneath the stars on Santa Monica Pier.
Nice.
Having a bunch of weird people looking at me because I'm on speakerphone talking wrestling in front of nobody.
Nice.
And fuck those guys.
Have you got any California poon?
Oh, I've got plenty of time for that.
Plenty of time means no, not yet.
Yeah.
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
Well, if he does more.
All right, ladies. I'll see y'all next week.
All right.
All right.
Later, dude.
All right, later.
Adios.
Really, Pop Culture Rewind guy? You can't even get a name for the page? Hector's talking shit about you voting as Pop Culture Rewind. That's what you get, Hector.
Yeah.
Being a Dickinson. All right. Well, okay, that's it for all that. We officially have those brackets ready to go. I think we talked about everything we need to talk about.
Yep, that's it.
Are we done for the night?
I think so. That's enough for one show.
All right. Well, adios, my friends. Keep it classy.
Go fuck yourself.
Who?
Everybody.
Everybody?
San Diego, Houston. I don't know. Somebody.
Houston, Santa Monica, not San Diego.
Yeah, especially Santa Monica. Chris. Bitch.
Yo, UK title, motherfucker.